Good afternoon, everyone. This is Queenie Clem with Queenie's Book Talk and Reviews, and I am your literary ambassador. And today I have Vanessa Taylor on my channel today. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be with you this evening.
Okay. Tell us about yourself.
Okay, so my name is Vanessa Taylor. I was born in London. I am a mother and a grandmother. I was a teacher for over 20 years. Then I was medically retired and I became an author.
Oh, wow. Okay. Now tell us about your book.
Okay, so my book is called Baller Boys. Here we are. My book is it's a middle grade book. It's aimed at children between 6 and 12 years old. The idea around the book was to try to engage boys, reluctant readers, but actually a lot of my followers and fans are actually girls. So yeah, boys as well, but the girls were like wearing it as well. So it's centered around a football team, and it's about the players on the team. It's about two best friends that go for football trials to be on a football team. One of them makes it onto the main team, and one of them makes it into what we call the development squad. So there's a bit of jealousy and rivalry and disappointment around that. But he trains hard and at some point gets an opportunity to play. So it's all about, really, it's about children belonging. It's about their identity, their belonging. There are, the characters are really quite diverse. So there are children, we have some African children, Caribbean, Asian, Turkish, English, Irish. So there's an array of children in the book, and they come along with their own, really their own hopes and dreams and their fears. And it's how they kind of all work together to develop the football team as well as themselves as young people moving forward.
Okay. Can you read a snippet from your book?
I can. Have you had a chance to read the book yet?
Yes, I have read a book and did a review.
Okay. Oh yes, that's right, you have. Is there any part in particular you'd like to hear from me?
Oh, no, just anything you want to read.
Okay. I will read a bit of chapter 12, which is called The Lie. Okay, so chapter 12, The Lie. Mum, Hassan said his family have invited everyone on the team for lunch at their restaurant on Saturday. Can I go? Asked Shay, almost breathless with excitement. Oh, lovely, of course you can. What type of food is it? Inquired his mum. His family have a Turkish restaurant. You know that big one on the high street? Oh, yeah, I know the one. Oh, you lucky boy. Wish I was going. I'll go on their website and take a look at their menu to see what food you can have and check their allergen statement. Joanne took out her phone and began to Google the restaurant. As long as you take your bag with you, with your EpiPen in, and I give you some antihistamines, you should be fine. Oh, I'll speak to Hassan's parents as well. Thanks, Mum. You're the best. And he said our families are invited too. Joanne looked at her son, raised her eyebrow, and smirked at him. Ha ha, you're so funny. I'm not joking. Hassan said all of our families are welcome. Oh, wow, that's generous of them. Tina and Frankie are going to love this. They love Turkish food. Well, actually, Mum, that's why Frankie was upset after training today. Hassan said it's only for the main team, so he can't come. Joanne switched off the kettle and stopped making her coffee to give Shay her full attention. Oh, poor Frankie. That must have been upsetting for him. Joanne studied Shay carefully. How do you feel about him not coming? Shay thought about it for a moment, then shrugged his shoulders. I don't know. It'll be a bit weird without him, but I still want to go. I like the boys that I play with, and I think it'll be fun. Can I go on my computer now?
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Where did you get the inspiration from?
Okay, so the inspiration for this book, so as I said earlier, I was medically retired from ill and I was quite unwell. And I spent quite a lot of time writing about my illness. And then one day, my oldest daughter and her husband said to me, Mum, we have an idea for you for a book, something else for you to write about. So my daughter worked in a school, my son-in-law worked in a school, and I worked in a school. And we'd all worked with children that were having difficulties with reading, with boys in particular. So we kind of decided to write a book that would engage boys. My son-in-law at the time ran a football team, a club actually, and he had noticed a lot of the young players were doing very well at sport, but actually some of their education needed some attention as well. And we thought, let's start with trying to engage some of these young boys, because it was that age group in reading. So the general idea, the main idea for the story came initially from my daughter and my son-in-law.
Okay. Does one of the main characters hold a special place in your heart? If so, why?
Okay, so while writing the book and before the book was completed, unfortunately, my son-in-law passed away. So the book was re-edited and I wrote him in. So in the book, Coach Reese is based on my son-in-law. And one of the other main character called Shay, who is on the front cover of the book, is actually based on his son, my grandson. And that's obviously why they both hold a very special place in my heart.
Yes. What do you hope for readers to take away from the book?
Okay. It's really about, and I'll use this quote. My book was endorsed by Benjamin Zephaniah. And one of the things he said about the book is not about football, it's about people and their possibilities. And I think that absolutely captures the essence of the book. It really is about, everybody is different, but everybody has something that they bring to the table. And it's about doing the best that you can with whatever you have. And if you've read through the book, you will know there are children in the book who have problems with, for example, ADHD. There's a child that suffers with anxiety. There's another child, Shay, who has food allergies and asthma. Frankie, his best friend, finds out that he needs to wear glasses. So they are just everyday children with everyday issues and circumstances, and they have to learn to live with what they have. And it's also about the people around him learning to accept you for who you are, and really just getting along and finding some belonging within that. So for me, what I hope children take away from the book is, number one, most children hopefully will see a bit of themselves in one or other of the characters. And also it's about really just making the most with who you are and what you have. Yes. With the support of your friends, your family, and in the story, their football coach. Just with the people around you.
What is the future of your characters, and will there be a sequel?
Absolutely. So the idea I'm hoping is for a set of at least four books. I've written the second book, which is at the moment with the publishers. So we're doing final edits. So the idea is that the characters in the book, with each new book, they grow up. So in the first book, they are rising 9, having their 9th birthday. And in the second book, they're a year older, having their 10th birthday. And the third book will be so on and so on. So each year they're a year older. So with them, their hopes, their dreams and their possibilities grow. And we find out whether some of their dreams are realised in the next stories and so on.
What was the highlight of writing this book?
Several. Well, the first book, because I was unwell and other circumstances that had happened, that book in the end took over 3 years from it was started to publication. So one of the highlights was the fact that we actually got to that point to have the book published in the middle of a pandemic, because it was released in May. But one of the highlights for me, I think, was when Benjamin Zephaniah read my book and decided to write a really, really powerful endorsement for it. It kind of came from nowhere. So I was really, really pleased about that.
Okay. What has been your greatest accomplishment thus far as an author?
My greatest accomplishment thus far as an author, well, Baller Boys is my first book. So that is, I'm absolutely honoured to have had my book published. But yesterday, in fact, we have something called Children in Need, which is a charity. It's a yearly charity that happens in Great Britain where they raise millions and millions of pounds. And this year, my book was included in an auction that they do. So for the last few weeks, people have been able to bid on my book. So my book retails at £6.99, but during the auction, it was sold for £82, £83.
Wow,
So, and that money,
congratulations.
thank you so much. And that money goes to charity. So I was really, really, really pleased about that. And another thing is it's now part of the People's Book Prize. It's been included as in the People's Book Prize, which is in April. So at the moment, I'm just hoping that lots and lots and lots and lots of people vote for it. So that was quite an honour as well to have been included in that.
Okay. What do you do when you're not writing?
Usually when there's not a pandemic going on, what I like to do in my spare time actually is swim. I really enjoy swimming. It's kind of where I get my meditation from. So I do swim a lot. But at the moment, I'm actually doing a lot of reading because we're home. We're in the current lockdown. I'm doing a lot of reading, which I'm really enjoying as well.
Okay, that was my next question. What are you reading right now?
Well, what I'm reading right now, I'll just lean over and I'll actually show you it. I'm reading Clem Warriors by Alex Wheatle. I am also reading Windrush Child by Benjamin Zephaniah. And I'm reading Black British by David Olasuga. This is a younger version. I bought this one to read with my daughter and my grandchildren. I'm reading Natives by Akala, and then I'm reading my own adult version of Black and British by A Forgotten History. So I'm reading all of these at the moment, but the one I suppose I'm focusing on most is this one. I pre-ordered it, and it arrived yesterday, and I've been waiting for this one for a while. So this is the one that I will be diving into.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Can you share something your readers wouldn't know about you?
Something they wouldn't know about me. Oh, well, I suppose I talk so much, I give most things away. Because I think the two things that I would always say is, there is one thing actually that I actually hold a Football Association FA Football Coaching Award at level 1.
Wow, congratulations. Wow.
To be honest, it's quite out of date now, but I've had one.
Okay. What is the most difficult part about writing for you?
It's actually giving myself a schedule and actually sticking to it. So sometimes I will say, like, for this week, every day between 9 o'clock and 2 o'clock, I'm going to write. Mm-hmm. But sometimes being inspired between those times, it doesn't happen. So it could often be, it might just be, I'm sitting down and then at 6 o'clock, inspiration comes, and then I sit down and then I might write through 6 o'clock, right through the night. So kind of being organized enough to set myself a rigid kind of working hours timetable to sit and write. I can't do that. I don't know how people do that, but I'm not able to write like that. my inspiration comes when it comes, and then I will write at that time.
Okay. What was your favorite part and your least favorite part about the publishing journey?
Okay, so finding a publisher in the first place can be quite difficult. So I didn't go to a lot of the traditional publishers, because I do find that traditional publishers are looking for a particular type of book written in a particular way. And one of the things for me was I wanted my book to be accepted pretty much how I'd written it. So I wanted my main characters to be Black boys, and I wanted the authenticity of their stories to remain in the book. And often traditional publishing publishers ask you to change the names of your characters, the look of your characters, and I didn't want that. And I was very fortunate to find an independent publisher that at that time were looking for stories from diverse authors that were writing diverse books. So I found a publisher that was looking for that. I sent them my manuscript and they loved it. And then with that, obviously there's still some editing. So then it will be, there's things to edit. Oh, maybe can you change this part a little bit? Can you tweak that? Can you put a little bit more here? So doing all of that is fine. But for me, it was really important to keep my story, even though I was making changes, adapting things and improving things, that the original ideas and the authenticity of the characters and the story remained. And I think that I was able to do that with the publishers that I have.
Mm-hmm. What writing can be emotionally draining and stressful. So what advice would you give to inspiring authors?
Okay, for me, I think as an author, you need to know what you're writing about. You need to understand the area that you are writing about. So I know about children because I've taught children for many, many years, and I have my own and I have my grandchildren as well. So I chose to write for children about children. I wouldn't write a cookery book because that's not my area. So, and although my book is about football, which is not wholly and solely my area, I am surrounded by people that are able to fill in those gaps for me in terms of technical skills and things to do with football. And I also go to lots of football matches to keep it really, really real. So I think my advice really is to be, when you're writing, you need to write about something you know about.
Okay. And where can readers find you and your books?
Ooh, so I can be found on Twitter. My Twitter name is Venessa T. Writes. I can be found on Goodreads under my name, Venessa Taylor. I am on Instagram I am Venessa T. Writes, and I've also got an Instagram page which is called Baller Boys Books. And I'm on Amazon, and I also have a website which is www.ballerboysbooks.com. So I'm either Venessa T. Writes or Baller Boys, or if you Google me, I'm just Venessa Taylor, and then I seem to pop up.
Okay. Is there anything else you would like to add before we close?
Apart from the obvious, which is thank you so much for inviting me. I mean, it was a real pleasure, actually. When I saw the message, I was like, But I'm really pleased to be able to speak with you. It's so nice to to be able to do this, so that where I'm right here in London and you're all the way over in South Carolina. That's amazing to be able to connect so far away. So thank you for that, for this opportunity as well.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
All right. This is Queenie Clem with Queenie's Book Talk and Reviews. Happy reading. Bye, y'all.
Bye.